I'm almost off. One thing that I don't like doing is putting the tree stands and everything else in the back of my truck, especially if I'm going on long trips. Number one, I don't want them coming out, whether that be hit a bump in the road and or theft. I mean, I've got a long ways to go. I'm going to be having to make stops. Everything else, I don't want to have to worry about it. I want to be able to lock my truck up and go. There's stuff in the back that's in the back. It can be stolen. So that's why anything in the back that's stolen, I can technically do without. I always have a hunting set of clothes in my truck, and then I have my rest of my clothes back up in the back, especially with the food and everything and the water and everything else like that. But definitely on long road trips, make sure you drink water. I mean, you might have to go and stop, but that's alright. Make sure you're hydrated, especially if you're going on a big hunt. That way you're hydrated when you get there and you're ready to go. You're not dehydrated when you start out. Make sure you got every gear. Make sure you have a checklist. Make sure you go over it and triple check it. Because it's one of those things where you get there, you can't necessarily go to the store sometimes and get what you need. Also, make sure that you know your route beforehand. Make sure you know where you're going, the time frame that you've got, and don't over push yourself. Especially what I'll be talking about today, because I'm probably pushing myself maybe a little bit too hard, which I guess that's contradictory, but we'll see. See you in Maryland. All right, finally in the car. Goodness gracious, I had to go back in the house like 2 times, 3 times because I forgot something. First off, whoa, I gotta put on my seatbelt. Safety first. I've got a couple stops. I got one stop. I gotta go to Wally World, Walmart, and you gotta get some peanut butter because I love some peanut butter for my PB&Js, and then also got to get some Thermacell stuff because I'm running low on Thermacell stuff. And then I have to make one more stop, and that is at our mall because that is where my fiance works. I gotta stop in there and give her a big hug and big kiss and tell her that I love her and that I will miss her because that way, because I will be, but so that way she'll be happy a little bit, and I'll be on my way a lot later than I was hoping. Honestly, that's gonna annoy me if it does that the whole trip, the squeaking sound. Can't wait to be in the stand tomorrow and see what comes by me. Hopefully we'll get some deer down this weekend with Men of Faith. So if not, it'll be a good time. It'll be a good time with them and good fellowship, good memories. See what happens. Map breeding challenge. Let's go.
Then,
Texas is in the house!
I get up in the stand there, I see 4 come by, and then...
What's going on, gentlemen?
Anybody from Texas?
All the way from Texas.
Deep in the heart of Texas.
Yeah.
Welcome to Maryland.
Praise the Lord. I'm here. Uh-oh.
That's okay. Mr. Aaron Jones, welcome to the Map Reading Challenge
What's going on?
2017 Maryland edition. Talk to me, man. You just had a super duper long drive. Tell me how it went and what were you thinking all those hours? How many hours were you in the car?
I was in the car technically 18.
18.
But I mean, I was driving 17 because I had to stop on the side of the road and sleep for an hour because it was just getting too much.
Yep.
So I just was like, I got to pull off the side of the road, get some sleep, so that way I'll be fine on the road. So I mean, I got about an hour and 15 minutes of shut eye. Woke up and I was ready to go. I got back in the truck. I mean, I was already in the truck, but I got out, went to the restroom, got everything set up, went and left, and then here I am.
So welcome. And did you have any strategy going through your mind or plan, like set up harvest? Like if the first deer you see you're shooting, or are you going to wait for a big buck? Are you going to shoot a small buck? What's in your mind when it comes to your plan for the Map Reading Challenge?
It's brown is down.
All right.
But no, if I see a doe, I'm most likely going to take her. But I mean, it depends on what time. If she comes in tonight like 5 o'clock, I don't know.
Yeah.
I might hold off on it. But if she comes in around 6:30, I'm gonna go ahead and shoot her, and I'll probably just let her sit for the 30 minutes and then get down and see if make sure a buck doesn't come at last light. But in that way, I mean, it'll get the best of both worlds. Give her some time if I mean, I should be able to make a great shot on her if she's close enough, and wouldn't take a shot that's unethical. So make sure that she has time to expire, and then that way I can hopefully shoot the big buck that comes after.
Yeah,
So
there you go.
that way I can tag out the first.
Now
day.
let me ask you. I mean, if a 6-year-and-a-half-old 6-pointer comes strolling on through, I mean, is that going to tempt you, or are you?
Whoop.
Yep. See you. Good night, huh? All right.
It's one of those things. If I see a deer and I get excited about it, regardless of antler size, I'm gonna shoot it.
There you
So,
go.
I mean, I've had littler bucks that come by me, and I'm like it just, the whole experience, the whole emotions, they're high, and it you know it makes me want to shoot the buck. Then I'm gonna shoot it.
There you go.
But then yet again, if it's not, and I just see a little basket rack, and I'm not thinking anything of it, but I'm really enjoy filming him, then I'm just gonna let him do his own thing, and I'm gonna get it all on film. So.
All right, well, the acorns are falling, as we can hear, and we have to get camp set up and then get in the woods.
Let's do it.
And see what happens in the map reading challenge. Good luck to you on the Bowtech competition for the Bowtech, and for Team Men of Faith in the XOP Air Raid tree stands. Good luck to you
yeah.
guys.
Next.
All right, Aaron, tell me about night number 1.
Night number 1. Well, I had an opportunity, but I turned it down. As you'll probably see in the footage, she's coming in, but I mean 10 yards, and she's really quartering too. And I was planning on shooting her there, but since she was coming anyways, I figured she was gonna walk right past my tree. So then I just stopped, and I was gonna spin around on the other tree. Spin around on the tree, so that when she walks right by, I'd be able to get a perfectly quartering away shot. But it didn't work out perfectly, because as soon as she got behind me, she put her nose straight up, and she caught my scent immediately. And she looked straight up at me, and I didn't move, and then finally she blew. And the doe behind her ran, and then all of a sudden I hear something behind me, which is technically where I was facing, run as well. That's her right in there. There's a big old doe, probably 30 yards that flagged and ran away too. And after that, I saw a porcupine. But
that's cool, man. You had some action. That's
we had
awesome.
some action. If things could have came a little bit better, we'd have had a deer down. But it was just bad luck.
Yeah. Well, tomorrow's day 2, man.
Day 2. Hey, new day, new spot, new deer.
Here we go.
Do it. Haven't seen much this morning. There are squirrels everywhere here, bouncing around all morning. It's real quiet. Everything's real quiet. Pretty sure I saw one about 45 minutes ago, 75 yards south. All I saw was a white something walk through, go stop, and then it kept going. Might have been just a squirrel. Could have been a deer, I don't know. When I get down here pretty soon, go check my trail camera that I had out, and that's gonna pretty much depict on what my next move is. We'll see what happens. Stay with us.
All right, Aaron. First full day complete. Tell me give me a quick synopsis of what happened today.
Well, this morning, I was going to the buck rub area that I talked about in the scout video. I decided on the way in there not to go all the way in there. Sean and I talked beforehand, and I was going to set up on the ridge above it. So that's what I did, and acorns were dropping everywhere. Figured I was in a good spot. Didn't really see anything. Saw some squirrels. Went down there, checked my trail camera, and you'll see it probably overlay a couple pictures of the bucks that I got. Some really nice. It looked like a 6-point with no brow tines. So 3 on each side, and then another little 8-point. But both really nice, respectable bucks. This afternoon I thought was perfect setup. I was in there in a creek bottom. Wind was out of the north. Wind was blowing right back where I walked in, and I had a shot to about 5 different trails, but they just didn't work out for me tonight. So we'll see what happens tomorrow.
All right, tomorrow's gonna be the day. Super fan Aaron Jones.
That's me.
You know what, I was thinking before we get into the conclusion of the map reading challenge, congratulations first of all on finishing it. He's about to get married, and your future wife's name begins with an A.
Yep.
Your name begins with an A. My name begins with an S. My wife's name begins with an S. My dad's name begins with a J. My mom's name begins with a J. My wife's parents, both their names begin with C. So welcome to the club.
Well, what's really funny is that all of our initials match. Her name is Anna Marie Jett. Mine's Aaron Michael Jones.
Oh, that's a match made in
We're
heaven
the
right
AMJ
there.
people.
All right, so now that we've covered that important detail,
Absolutely.
let's talk about, here we are, the map reading challenge. You came out guns a-blazing, you had yourself
Absolutely.
on the deer. We fizzled out at the end, all of us, so we couldn't quite score at the very end like tonight. What would you say was some of the biggest things that stood out to you from this map reading challenge, and that you maybe learned from it, that you would take with you back to Texas?
Well, I would think the number one thing is the importance of first stand sits. So where I hunt in Arkansas and in Texas, I normally hunt multiple times at the same spot. I might have multiple locations, but I will hunt those in general, and I won't branch out.
Right.
And that was my goal coming up here, was to make sure that I did not sit the same spot. And it was tempting, because after that first night where I was on that oak flat and that oak saddle, and I saw those 3 deer, I wanted to go back immediately. I wanted to go back. I wanted to see if there was any more deer that was going to come across or anything like that. But I resisted, and I mean, I still had really great success. I mean, I did. I saw
You were seeing deer. You were seeing deer.
Yeah, I saw 5 deer. Had an opportunity. Just wind didn't right. It wasn't perfect. It just wasn't God's will. So I mean, it just went that way, which is fine. So it's called hunting.
Right.
But just being able to pick on the map and be confident in the places that you pick and try it out.
And I think that's a great point for especially you out there. We're in big woods. There's over 40,000 acres of public land here.
Yep.
And these are spooky deer. Like when you go into a spot, like that first night, they got a little skittish. I think they one saw you or whatever.
Yeah, the one went straight downwind of me.
So,
and she caught my wind and looked right up at me.
Yeah, and so these deer will shy away from those areas, and so there's so much land. It's an actual good idea to go to the next spot, and so keeping those spots fresh. So I mean, I think that was a good game plan, and it obviously didn't come together in the end, but this is one thing that, folks, if you start doing map reading challenges, you'll get to the end of it, there's that 2.5 days of hunting, and you're like, man, if I just had one more day.
That's what
had one more
Dan and I
day.
were just talking about over
that
there.
is like that's very common. I think we all leave feeling that way. We're closing in the distance. Maybe that first sit, now that spot cooled off a little bit. Maybe you could go back. Now whatever the case is, it's like you're closing in, and you run out of time, and that's why it's a challenge.
Absolutely,
it is a true challenge. But
and I couldn't have had a better team for this challenge.
Yeah, this is a great. Men of Faith is a great team, man.
Honestly, some truly great guys.
So praise the Lord for that.
Absolutely.
And I appreciate you coming all the way from Texas, folks. I don't think it's going to be hard for someone to beat that on the travel coming from Texas. But
17 hours.
And folks, the next time we see him on video, or by the time this airs, he will already be married, folks. You're looking at a now married, not yet married, but now that you're seeing this married man.
Praise the Lord Jesus.
Unless she says no.
That is true. Hey, that is true. She's got to walk down that aisle.
Well, come on, we got to get you. No,
we're almost there.
All right, man. Well, hey, man, thanks so much, brother. God bless you. Well, folks, I mean, I've gotten emails and stuff and donations from Aaron for years now. I mean, he's really been a huge support to my Sean's Outdoor Adventures. And so I've really appreciated that. And when he applied to be on the Map Reading Challenge this year, I was excited. I was so happy that he'd made that incredible drive twice all the way from Texas. I mean, that's an exertion. Him and John coming all the way from Florida, his teammate John. I mean, that was a lot. And so I really appreciated those guys doing it. Now for Aaron, he went home, got married, went on his honeymoon, came back, hit the public land in Texas, which is tough hunting where he lives, and he scored on a really nice buck. Aaron is no slouch when it comes to hunting. He's got a lot of really good bucks under his belt, and I actually thought he was going to be the first one to put one down on the Map Reading Challenge. We are still waiting for that, folks. We are still waiting for the contestant who is going to put antlers on the ground. Stay tuned to find out, is it going to happen? Come next week, we have Team Maryland, and don't forget the big rivalry between the New York Non-Typicals and Team Maryland. It's like clash. Antlers clashing. So let's see, can Team Maryland get it done? Stay tuned for next week. We are going to find out which team came out on top. Thanks so much for tuning into this one. And remember, Aaron's score now depends largely on how many views this video gets. And if you want to help Aaron win that Bowtech Range 6 and his team to win the XOP Air Raid Hang-On Tree Stands, share this video around and the Scout Tripper video around as much as possible. Run up the view count for him and also vote for him on the voting page for the Map Reading Challenge. I'll put a link for that in the description section of this one. So stay tuned for next week. Until then, take care and God bless.
Perfect.
So